Hello and welcome everybody, this is Glitch, and are you guys ready for some ZVZ from Team LiquidSheth? Cause I know I am. Today I'm going to be casting only games from Team LiquidSheth. If you guys tuned in to my previous games, I did some ZVP and ZVT from Sheth, all ladder games, just games that Sheth played on ladder just a few days ago, and apparently Sheth's opponent today is going to be a player that is a fan of Sheth, so we are going to see how well he does against Sheth, because he sees that he's a fan of Sheth. So if he's a fan of Sheth, well, maybe he knows his style and maybe he knows how to play against him. I have not seen any of these games before, so I have no idea if this guy is going to be able to beat Sheth or not. So far, Sheth's been able to take care of his opponents pretty well. He won pretty decisively against both his Protoss and Terran opponents on ladder of the two games that I cast today. And it looks like both players are going to be scouting their opponent's positions right away. Sheth is, of course, on Antigua shipyards, spawning in this 2 o'clock position as the blue Zerg. His opponent for today is going to be MaestrO, spawning at the 11 o'clock position as the red Zerg. Gonna see how well he does against Sheth. Gonna be so interested to see actually what Sheth is going to do, because I actually really want to know what Sheth does in ZVZ, because for me, ZVZ is one of the harder matchups to know as a Zerg player. ZVZ is a very tricky matchup, and it looks like Sheth is actually going to be going for a fast expansion here, despite there being on fairly close positions and the fact that they immediately scouted each other's position here. Sheth is still going to try to go for this fast hatchery, and so is his opponent. Now, so both players are going to be going for a fast hatchery, going to be dead even on economy. As we can see, their builds are pretty much identical at this point in time. And there we go, we are going to see a gas now coming down here for MaestrO. Looks like he's going to be getting up that Zergling speed, and there we go, spawning pool now coming down here for Sheth. So a slight deviation in the builds here. I definitely think that Sheth's going to be getting up that gas geyser here pretty soon here, but if he doesn't, I'm actually going to be very curious to see what happens, because by getting up this early gas, this means that MaestrO is going to have a very fast Zergling speed, and Sheth, there we go, now he's finally taking his gas. I was thinking he might do a gasless opening where he just opens with no gas, relies on slow Zerglings, spine crawlers, and just gets up lots of drones and queens in the early game, not mining any gas at all. But no, as we can see, he is going to be getting up some gas of his own, so he's going to be getting up a little bit, but as you can see, his spawning pool is going to be just a little bit faster. His pool is just now finishing, and now we might see a few Zerglings here coming out from Sheth. Definitely standard to create 2 or 4 Zerglings to send to your opponent's base and check it out. Different players like different things. I'm personally a big fan of 2 Zerglings on this map, 1 for the Xel'Naga Watchtower and 1 for the front of their base. But let's see what Sheth is going to be doing here. Wow, Sheth is actually going to be throwing down immediately a very fast Roach Warren, and he's now doing a bit of a worker transfer, getting more workers down to his expansion here. And in the base of MaestrO right now, Zergling speed is now coming up. Do we have any Zergling speed coming up for Sheth? No, actually, no Zergling speed at all. As you can see, he's got these Overlords in position, so he knows what his opponent's producing. Does he know this hatchery is here? Yeah, he does know that hatchery went down here, so he's feeling very safe about it. Now, we do have 4 Zerglings on the way here for MaestrO, so it looks like he's going to be trying to poke in with some Zerglings and try to find out exactly what his opponent is doing. Zergling speed is going to be done for him very soon here. Is he going to be taking advantage of the fact that he's going to have that first Zergling speed, which is going to give him a huge mobility advantage over his opponent? Still no Zergling speed coming down here for Sheth. Sheth is going straight to Roaches. 4 Roaches currently on the production tab here for Sheth. If we check out the harvester count right now, we can see that Sheth is ahead 24 to 21 harvesters. Now, this is a quick one side note that I wanted to mention in today's casts, you guys. I actually spent a little bit of time listening to my own casts. I actually rarely listen to my own casts just because sometimes I can just barely stand to hear the sound of my own voice. I actually listened to some of my own casts. I forced myself to listen to some because that's the only way I could feel like I can really get better at casting, because I'm very critical of casters usually, so I feel like it's only fair that I listen to my own casts and know what's going on. So I've been kind of changing a little. I've been thinking about little ways to change my style of casting, so let me know what you think. I've been trying to slow down my speech, for one thing. One thing I've noticed is that I tend to talk really fast all the time, so I kind of want to slow down my speech. I kind of feel like it takes away some of the energy of the cast, but I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think. Maybe you guys like the fast talking. I don't know. I felt like at times I just talked a little bit too fast. Now let's jump right back into this game because MaestrO did manage to produce a lot of Zerglings. Looks like he's going to be trying to deal a lot of damage here, but Sheth with a beautiful wall off right now. 4 roaches here in front of 2 queens is preventing so much from getting up this ramp right now. More roaches being produced here for Sheth on the way, and so many Zergling losses are being sustained here by MaestrO right now. As you can see on the resources lost tab, look at that resources lost tab climbing here for MaestrO, and he's continuing to try to bring in more roaches. These roaches are falling, and Sheth being forced to pull drones off the line to have to deal with this. Queens are gonna fall, and it looks like, there we go, beautiful move there by Sheth. If you saw what he did there, he actually right-clicked on this mineral patch so that all his drones ghosted through his queens, and then he started auto-attacking on the ramp to prevent those Zerglings from dealing any more damage to that one queen that got very low. So beautiful save there by Sheth, and in the meantime, more roaches were popping out all over the place, and as you can see, 29 to 22 harvesters right now, 30 to 22 harvesters now. Sheth is way ahead in the harvester game, and more Zerglings continuing to be streamed out here by MaestrO. He really needs these Zerglings to deal damage if he wants to be able to keep up in the game, because if you think about it, Zerglings are very, very larva expensive. They're ridiculously expensive in terms of larva. One larva gets you only 2 Zerglings, which is really, really just not that strong. Zerglings are just not at all that strong. 2 Zerglings not at all as worth it as having 1 roach on the field. These roaches only cost 1 larva each, and they're so much stronger. To have a big group of roaches, this means that he's going to be using less larva on army units, meaning he has more larva for his drones. And the fact that MaestrO's been spending so much of his larva on Zerglings right now means that he's going to be this much less he's going to have this many less drones. So that, of course, means that his drone count is going to be hurting a lot more, and as we can see, that's very true right now. 38 harvesters to 33 is a big difference. In ZVZ, even having 1 drone difference is a huge difference in ZVZ. So the fact that Sheth is 6 or 7 drones ahead is going to put him so far ahead in the long term, and the fact that MaestrO is still producing lots of Zerglings, more Zerglings are still on the production tab. His Roach Warren is just now coming up right now, and actually, oh no, that's actually Sheth's. Sheth had some more Zerglings on the way, sorry about that. But no, it looks like now the Roach Warren is out for MaestrO, but like I said, he's already made all these Zerglings, and these Zerglings really can't do anything. What is this? How many Zerglings is this? This is 24, 32, this is 33 Zerglings right now. This could have been 16 more drones. 16 more drones. Imagine if he was up 16 more drones right now. Sheth hasn't been aggressive this entire game. If he was up 16 more drones, he would be so far ahead in the harvester count, but he produced all these Zerglings here, and he wasn't able to do the damage that he really needed to be able to do, and now Sheth has just managed to stay way ahead, and now Sheth has this beautiful wall off here of roaches, going to prevent any kind of Zerglings run-bys. For Zerglings to get by this wall, they're going to have to come all the way around here, come all the way around the back, and that's going to be very, very difficult for them to do. +1 missile attacks now, just finishing up here for Sheth, +1 missile attacks for MaestrO, just now getting started. So as you can see, he's just way behind in tech, just all because these Zerglings, so many Zerglings were produced in the early game, and he's actually now getting up a Baneling Nest here. Sheth, rather, is getting up a Baneling Nest. This is going to be able to combat all these Zerglings. This means that he's trying to be more efficient. Why? Because he knows his opponent produced a ton of Zerglings, and he can take out a ton of Zerglings with just 2 or 3 Banelings. Like really, really easily here. So Sheth normally probably wouldn't be getting this Baneling Nest, but the fact that he knows his opponent has so many Zerglings out on the field right now just indicates to him, you know what, having 2 or 3 Banelings can really just cut my opponent's army down to nothing. And as you can see, he's now moving across the field here with so many. 30 roaches currently out here for Sheth, 17 currently out for MaestrO. He is so far ahead in the roach count. Gonna try to go for a big counterattack here with these Zerglings. Gonna get into the main, gonna start to pick off some drones here, but Sheth just constantly pumping out these roaches. Looks like these roaches are gonna finally be able to pick these off, and the queen survives their big loss there. And Sheth now in the meantime is moving into the natural expansion of MaestrO, starting to deal a lot of damage. Gonna start to focus down this hatchery and all the forces of MaestrO trying to get up on this ramp. He needs to position them up on this ramp if he can, and there you go. Now you can see these roaches getting up on the ramp are going to be able to do a lot of damage here, and Sheth wisely pulling back, trying to do as much damage, +2 missile attacks as well, as Glial Reconstitution coming down on the way for Sheth, definitely committing to this attack, but trying to stay ahead in tech, wants to stay ahead in tech this entire time, does not want to fall behind just because he produced a lot of extra army units, and he's now focusing down that hatchery. The hatchery falls, and now Sheth is just going to be pulling back, playing it safe to his reinforcements. Now he's got more reinforcements currently out here, 24 roaches to 20 of MaestrO, but Sheth's just feeling so good right now with his +1 upgrade, so much farther ahead than MaestrO. +2 upgrade almost complete here for Sheth, getting on the way, and there is the GG from MaestrO, just not able to keep up with the beastly macro of Sheth. Sheth doing the absolute boss mode win. I'm so glad that he won, because I was featuring Sheth today on my cast, and I was like, God, if Sheth loses any of these matches where I'm featuring Sheth, then that would just be no good. But as you can see, Sheth now taking a 3rd expansion, both these players talking it up just a little bit. MaestrO knows he's behind. He's got his Hydralisk Den up there, but I think that was a little bit premature considering that he was just so far behind in tech. I mean, he was just really in no position to try to jump the gun and try to go for Hydralisks that fast, because his opponent was just so far ahead of him in tech that I think that was really probably not the wisest move, but that wasn't his big mistake. I think his big mistake was producing so many Zerglings in the early game and really just not dealing the damage he needed to be able to deal with them, and Sheth just took full advantage of that, went straight for roaches, tried to stay ahead in the tech game, and was able to just straight up beat his opponent in a heavy macro game there, just constantly keeping up his advantage. He knew he was ahead in the army count, he knew he was ahead in the drone count, so he just kept pushing that advantage, pushing out more drones till he was fully saturated on 2 bases, and then just constant roaches, and then just shoved him down his opponent's throat, because he knew his opponent couldn't keep up with his macro at that point, because there was no way he could be ahead in the economy. Beautifully smart play there by Sheth. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed that cast. If you did, then please do all the good commenting, all the subscribing. Let me know what you think about this new style of casting where I'm trying to slow down my speech a little bit. Maybe I'm a little bit less excited. I don't know, but I'm definitely trying to be a little bit slower in my speech, trying to not rush everything I say too much. So let me know what you guys think of that. I'm going to be setting up a new Gmail account here very soon for user-submitted replays, because I really want to do a user-submitted week. So stay tuned for that. As soon as I get that up, I will do a post about it. Follow me at twitter.com/getglitched, and that's where you will find all my replays that get uploaded the most recently, as well as random StarCraft ramblings and things as well. Once again, I am rambling too long. Speaking of rambling, so I am going to cut it short here. I do not have my GG button with me here because I'm currently in San Francisco, California. So my GG button is at home in Los Angeles. So that's going to be it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. GG! Yeah, Glitch out.